gentlemen, and welcome to It's All About New Wave. And this is another Friday evening. Wow, time flies when you're really having fun, And it was a great week that just passed because a lot of things happened. And why am I happy? Because the vaccine already came just this week, so we have a vaccine for that virus. So we're so happy because there's a light in the end of the tunnel. So again, guys, good evening, and this is your weekly podcast, New Wave podcast. It's all about New Wave, and it's another Friday evening, a good Friday evening. Why? Because you are hearing this song. Woo! Ah, gosh, I love this group. I love this band. So yes, you are hearing it right, and that's Strawberry Switchblade with "Let Her Go." And we have a very special guest tonight. We are so honored and privileged to have been given time by none other than the vocalist of Strawberry Switchblade. Ladies and gentlemen, let's all give a big Philippine welcome to Jill Bryson of Strawberry Switchblade.
Hello.
Yeah. Hi, Jill.
Hello. Good.
Please greet your Filipino fans. They're watching right now.
I hope you're all doing brilliantly well. Hello from Scotland. I'm sitting
Yeah.
below.
Is it cold there now?
It
It's
is
starting
cold,
winter, right?
Yeah.
Wow.
We've had snow.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
You're
we've had snow.
you're so lucky you have snow. Here in the
Really?
Philippines, we only have pictures of snow.
Only pictures of snow.
But yeah. But Jill, the reason why we are so honored to have you because Strawberry Switchblade, especially your music, still plays here in the Philippines.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And how are you? How have you been?
Yeah, I'm good. Yeah. I spend half of my time now in Scotland and half of my time in London. So kind of split between countryside and city. And
Wow.
yeah,
So you're originally from where? Scotland?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
So
So um a lot of your Filipino fans, especially those who grew up in the 1980s and loved Strawberry Switchblade in your music. We just want to know. We the reason why we have the show is we love your music. We love 80s music, especially the new wave, the culture of new wave. But we want to know the singers or the bands behind the music, behind the songs. So who is Jill Bryson? As a young girl, growing up as a young girl, and how she started to love music?
Well, I grew up in Glasgow, and obviously in the 1970s, there
Hmm.
wasn't much going on in Glasgow, so I would listen to the radio a lot, listen to music, and I would draw, do lots of drawing, painting, and yeah, I got my love of music from listening to the radio. Yeah. There wasn't much on, so you had to kind of. I used to tape the shows that I
Hmm.
liked and listen to them, sort of over. And I would go out and buy vinyl, and yeah, just
Do you have
spend my
any
time doing that.
formal, yeah, when you were growing up, do you have any formal lessons in singing or playing
No,
instruments?
not at
Really?
all.
You just
No, not
what
at
was
all.
your influence? Like in other bands that I interviewed, they're like influenced by one of the bands that I interviewed is H2O from
Oh yeah.
Scotland also.
Yeah.
Ian.
Ian. Yeah.
Um a lot of bands in the 80s was they have their influences like the Beatles, Bowie, so on and so on.
Mm.
Who influenced you? Like, do you have any idol when you were growing up?
Well, I mean, I like Bowie. We all seem to like Bowie and Lou Reed and the Velvet Underground, but also T Rex. and
Mhm.
lots of that kind of glam rock pop bands, because we were teenagers and that's kind of what we liked. So lots of Bowie, lots of Mark Bolan and T-Rex. And then when it got to when I became a bit older, it was more like uh, the punk bands that sort
Yeah.
of came up in the like 76, 77. And that kind of had a huge impact on everybody sort of in, not just in London, although it started in London, it kind of spread throughout the country. And we all had it just seemed to spark young people to put together bands. So
Mhm.
for a while it just seemed like everybody in Glasgow was in a band who was into punk anyway,
Yeah.
which was great fun. And we would just do it, whatever. We'd just go, oh, let's give it a go, let's try, or and quite a few. It was really good fun to
Mhm.
actually witness that kind of birth of bands, who went
Mhm.
a lot of who went on to do well, Orange Juice and Simple Minds and
Mhm.
Aztec Camera, people, the Bluebells, lots and lots of
Yeah.
people who um, who really did
Big
well with the
country. Big
villages.
country is from
Big,
Scotland, right?
they're from
Yeah, big
Scotland, not
country.
Glasgow, but yeah, they're from
Yeah.
Dunfermline, I think. Yeah, not far because it's a small country, Scotland.
Yeah.
So we'd all, it was just great to see people that we knew giving it a go and actually doing well.
Yeah.
It's
So during the time that you were growing up as a kid, and then went as a teenager, do you have any interest in like having or singing in a group or a duo or a band?
not really. No, I like singing and I like what,
Yeah. What
as a
happened? What happened? Can you tell us the story behind having what happened in your, like you said, you don't have any vision of you being a singer in a band or in a group or in a
I
duo.
I think when I was growing up, it didn't seem like it was a possibility.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it seemed like it was something that it just wasn't. It wasn't going to be something that I could do. And I really like to draw and paint, so I wanted to go to art school. I wanted to be an artist. So I didn't think it was an avenue that was open to me. And it was only through punk that people started giving it a go and actually kind of doing something, getting on stage. And sometimes it would work for some people, sometimes it wouldn't. And that was it really. Just you know playing guitar in your bedroom and singing along. And I think we felt like it was a possibility rather than not open to us. Suddenly it felt like it was open to us because there were small venues sort of opening up in
Mm-hmm.
Glasgow that we could play.
Hmm.
Um, and then we'd move on to sort of the universities, which had
Yeah.
bigger venues. So it was this tiny venues, little bars that opened for bands, so it just didn't hold many people, but it meant that there were
What
places you could play,
what age were you then when you decided, oh, I want to sing? I
um,
wanna have a
probably
mhm,
about 20, 21.
mhm,
Yeah, I was at art school, and then I
mm,
met Rose, who is the
yeah,
lead singer, and we got together. She was in a band with her husband at the time, playing drums, but she wanted to sing and sort of be in an all girl band. So we had a chat about that and decided that we would form a band. And everybody laughed at us. They just said, "What do you mean you're going to form a band? You can't sing. You can't play guitar." And we're going, "Well, we'll learn." So we did. We learned. And actually, the first gig we played, so we got together, and the first gig we booked a gig in a it was a restaurant, funny
mhm,
restaurant in the West End of Glasgow, and we hadn't written any songs, so we had to just write the songs. So
uh-huh.
there you go. there's nothing like, you've just got to do it. And so we did it like that.
So you formed a duo with Rose, but what
And
was
then
the name before? It was Strawberry Switchblade already.
yeah, always Strawberry Switchblade. Yeah. And we had
Why the
two other
name?
girls.
Why the name? Is there any history, or do
The
you have
name
any?
is, the name is, well, it was the name of a fanzine.
Oh,
Do you know about fanzines?
yeah.
Like in the 70s and early 80s, people used to make in that kind of DIY, let's have a group, let's do everything ourselves. People would have, their own record labels, and they'd have their own magazine, like music magazines too,
Mm-hmm.
and they would sell them in the record shops. So there was a fanzine, which one of the members of Orange Juice
Mm-hmm.
decided to do, and he came up with the name Strawberry Switchblade, and that was going to be his fanzine. So they did lots of things, like they interviewed bands, they wrote articles, but it never came out. And so Rose,
Oh,
we said to James, can we use that name, because it is such a good name, you can't just kind of leave it. So he said, yeah, all right. Use it.
wow.
Yeah.
That
So
was
that
a
was,
very good story about that band name.
yeah. So it was a
Wow.
fanzine that never came out. And
But you made it popular because of your name.
yeah, it could have
They
been a
owe a lot to
fanzine.
you because
Yeah.
you carried the name and it was made popular.
Yeah.
Um, but have you ever thought, like, as a 20-year-old then, and then you were performing in your own first gig? Do you ever see yourself having a big career in what you're doing during the time when you were like at a very young age?
No, we were just doing it for fun,
Uh-huh.
because we really wanted to do it. It was quite nerve-wracking to get up on stage. And in fact, getting up on stage in a small venue is much more nerve-wracking than in a large venue, because you could see the audience, you could touch the audience.
Yes.
And there's that kind of like, oh, you're kind of, I don't know, that I always found it quite intimidating to do that. But it was good fun, and we really enjoyed it. So we wanted to carry on. And it
And
kind of snowballed from there.
during the time, Jill, most of the bands, especially in your in the places you started, mostly are men bands.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
uh,
Well, it was a very male dominated
yeah,
industry.
they may have
Always.
band
That,
members like girls, but mostly the voices and the members are male
yeah.
band members. So how did Strawberry Switchblade manage you guys, you and Rose,
Mm,
because you were two girls amidst all the
mm,
men in in
mm,
in in the industry?
yeah. Well, I think that's one of the reasons that I never really thought of myself as being able to be in a band, because before punk and new wave, there weren't girls in bands, very, very few. And they
Hmm.
were really, really, and like novelty. So there were
Yeah.
girl singers, but there weren't bands, and very few that played instruments. And it really wasn't until the sort of late 70s, early 80s that you started to see girls, getting together and saying, no, well, we're going to play guitar and bass and drums. We're going to do that. And we weren't the only ones in Glasgow doing that. So there were a couple of other bands as well. And sort of nationally, there were girl bands. And that's one of the reasons we thought, well, we can do this, because there are some girls doing it. There are
But
female bands.
during your time, Jill, there were quite a small number of girl bands. Like
Yeah.
you can only count them in your fingers. Like
Mm,
all girl bands will be the Go Go's, of
yeah.
course. The Go Go's,
Yeah.
Sushi and the Banshees,
Hmm.
the
Well, they weren't
Voice.
all
This is
girls. It
the
was just the
Voice. Yeah,
boys. Yeah.
yeah, it's the
There's quite a
Voice.
lot of those. And
Ex Mal
Blondie.
Deutschland, Ex
Yeah.
Mal Deutschland, Nina,
Hmm.
the
Nina, of
German band.
course.
Yeah,
Again, she was
um,
the singer. Very few
yeah.
that were actually musicians,
Mm-hmm.
which I thought, obviously there are more now, but it was quite difficult to, in a male dominated
Yeah,
industry.
somebody said here, Bananarama. Yeah.
Yeah. Again, they didn't play instruments.
Mm-hmm.
They sang,
They
but
just sing.
yeah. So it was quite hard to. I think there was um, quite a lot of looking down on women, particularly if they were trying to play instruments. By, you know, it was like, oh, what are
Mm-hmm.
you doing? Who do you think you are? So it was quite intimidating, but
Uh-huh.
you know, we just thought,
But what was the reaction of the people when you first went up on stage with that kind of look
yeah, yeah.
and that
Oh,
music that you had?
people loved it. We got a brilliant reaction. I mean, obviously, some people thought, who are they? Who do they think they are? But mostly, we got a great response from the audience. I mean, you know, really, I think it was such a novelty for women to get up on stage and do something. We were very lucky that we got such
Mhm.
positive feedback, you know, and that
What
kept us
was what
going.
was your first uh can you still remember the first song that you sang on your first gig?
Yeah, and the first song I wrote was "Trees and Flowers," which is
Mhm.
I don't know if you know it, but it was released. It was a sort of independent release, so it wasn't on the album, and it was quite a kind of slow,
Mhm.
um, sort of ballady kind of song, which I still really like. And
Uh-huh.
that was about I missed a year of school when I was in secondary school because I had agoraphobia, which was basically a fear of going outside,
Mhm.
um, irrational fear, which meant that I missed school. So that was another thing that I spent that year listening to music and drawing. Uh, and that kind of really cemented my kind of love of music. And so I wrote the first song I wrote was about being about that experience of being
Mhm.
scared to leave the house. So
Oh wow.
yeah,
And then after that you wrote songs already. And then how did you come up with the hit song Let Her Go?
Let Her Go was written. Now I didn't write too many lyrics. I found lyrics very difficult, so I would write the melodies and do the
Mhm.
music, and Rose would write the lyrics. So Let Her Go was about her best friend who
Mhm.
started going out with a boy who was very controlling and wouldn't let her see her friends and was kind of
Yeah.
controlled every aspect of her life. So that's what that song is about, and that was Rose that wrote that one.
Yeah, because here in the Philippines, when we first heard the Strawberry Switchblade music, was
Mm.
Let Her Go.
Oh wow!
Because during that time, as I have mentioned it all in my show,
Mm,
new wave is not really that kind of mainstream music that you
mm,
play on radio, on
mm,
ordinary radio. We have this
mm,
underground radio station called WXB 102 that only
mm-hmm,
plays new wave music.
mm-hmm.
So that was the first song that we heard and we loved it because
Mm, ah.
wow, it was like all girls and it has a different type of approach, a different
Mm,
type of music
mm,
that uh, it was different. It was
mm,
different that from the other songs that's been circulating that we've been hearing,
mm.
and that made you here in the Philippines famous because number one also is the looks. Your look was like, wow, this is awesome. This is then a lot of girls that I know imitated
Just
your
throw it all on.
makeup, your looks, your dress. Yeah, and it was like, oh wow, this is different. Especially when we go parties, when we go concerts, we see a lot of girls dressed up like you.
Oh wow, that's amazing!
Yeah, yeah.
How wonderful! Just throw
So
it all on.
yeah, so after that, when was the time that you were signed up as a recording artist?
Do you know it was quite soon after because there was such a buzz going on uh, in Glasgow, and quite a few bands were being signed up, and they would mention us. So it's probably only less than a year until we got signed up. I think
Mhm.
it was less than a year. We did a couple of radio sessions,
Mhm.
in London, really close together. And lots of people would listen to them. Lots of people from the music industry listened to. One was John Peel, who, you know, everybody did a session for John Peel, and one was Kid Jensen similarly. And we did two, probably, I think it was within a week of each other. So we were
Hmm.
kind of, that was 4 tracks we did. That was all the songs we had, 8 tracks. So we did 4 for one and 4 for the
Yeah.
other. And that we got a publishing deal from. And then once we signed a publishing deal, it was quite quickly we got a record deal.
So what
Yeah.
was the record, the song that caught the ears and the heart of the producer?
I don't know, but I think Since Yesterday, it wasn't called Since Yesterday. So when we did these, it was almost like we were doing demos when we did these radio sessions. I think they liked Trees and Flowers, and that was something that the publisher wanted us to release on an indie label. But it wasn't really an indie label. It was a kind of, do you know, there's a band called Echo and the Bunnymen.
Yes, yes, of
Yeah,
course.
it was the guitarist's label, and
Mm.
our manager knew him and said, "Look, let's do this on his label and release it." And that got a lot of. That was before we signed the major label deal, but that got us a lot of attention, a lot of kind of, yeah, you know, brought us to. It wasn't like a hit. It was an indie hit, but it wasn't, you know, it didn't
Hmm.
have a big label behind it pushing it, but it got us a lot of attention, and that brought
Yeah.
us to the attention of major labels. So
And
that
then
was,
MTV came, right? It's during that time MTV
yeah,
was
yes,
the once you see
yeah,
yourself on MTV, wow, that's something. That's big,
yeah,
you know.
yeah,
So
yeah, absolutely.
how did you feel during the time when you were like in your mid 20s? You were
Mm,
so you people were like screaming,
yeah,
especially girls screaming when they see you play, and they want your picture, they want your autograph. Imagine
yeah,
if they have phones already, they're having
I
selfies,
know.
you know.
Yeah,
But during that time,
was,
it was only like a camera or
yeah,
a
nothing.
pen, and
Mm,
then you'll sign.
hmm
How did you feel? Like you before you were just an ordinary person, and now you're somebody.
Yeah, very strange. Quite, yeah, a bit of a shock. A bit of a shock. I don't think I was quite prepared for it, but
How did your parents take it? Because you know, being a girl, and then oh, you have to, we have like parents who sometimes overprotective, or you
mm,
have to do this and that. How did you know, did your
they were
parents and your family took it?
they were fine with it because I'd gone to art school, so I was kind of dressing up and, like, you know, and I was being part of that kind of music scene in Glasgow. So I was already dressed up like that and going to art school every day. And I think they kind of like, well, she's kind of, that's kind of who she is. You know, it wasn't maybe what they'd choose, but, you know, they'd look at me when I went out in the morning and say, "Really? Are you really going out like that?" But they got used to it, and yeah, I think they were quite. I don't think they understood. They were like, "Well, you're studying art. Why are you playing music? That
Hmm.
doesn't make sense." And I thought, well, I think it actually, you know, it kind of goes hand in hand. The whole kind of creative process, you know. It seemed quite natural for me. But yeah, they were supportive once we
So
kind of did this.
you were with a friend like Rose. How did
Mm-hmm,
you manage it? Like, I know I have sisters, siblings.
mm-hmm,
You know, I don't have a brother. But when
mm-hmm,
they do girl talk, you know, the girl talk, the
mm-hmm.
oh, we're famous, we're famous. Do you do that also? Like,
Well, the thing is, it was really good to have somebody else there. You know, the two of us kind of would be
yeah,
like, oh, you know, when we do something, we'd be like, "Oh my goodness, this is like," you know, it would kind of egged each other on, and it was good fun. and it was just that kind of security as well of, you know, not having to do it on
Hmm.
your own. You know, as if you were a solo singer, it was like you had somebody, you know, there
Yeah.
so
I,
give you
I
support.
I'm so curious about like especially men. Like if you're a band like especially we see you on stage like men, they sing, then girls
Mm-hmm.
scream, you know.
Mm-hmm.
They idolize especially girls, you know, they scream so hard, especially when the singer is, you know, handsome or good looking. But for girls, how did men react, and how did you manage to like men going to you and, you know.
We did, funnily enough, I think because of our image, it was quite kind of.
Mhm.
I think quite a lot of people found it intimidating. It probably
Mhm.
wouldn't be seen so today, but back then,
Mhm.
it was people would be kind of, I don't know. I remember when I started at art college, nobody spoke to me for ages, and then they
Mm.
said eventually when I got to know them, they said, oh, we didn't want to speak to you because you look too scary.
Really?
With all that makeup
Yeah,
on,
of
they were
course,
just
of course.
terrified.
Yeah.
And I'm not like that. I'm not scary. But you know, and I think part of it was that kind of disguising yourself and being kind of really colourful to kind of keep people a
Mhm.
little bit at bay. And yeah, I mean that's so it wasn't that kind of like, oh, look at these lovely pretty girls. It was kind of like, oh, you know, look at these kind of strange, scary
Uh-huh.
kind of
So you
punky
made your
girls.
own image.
Yeah,
Both of you,
yeah.
Rose and
Oh
you.
yeah, yeah. Sort of that developed out of that kind of, you know, like punk image, like Susie and Nina
Yeah.
Hagen, and you know, it kind of developed from, you know, we'd go out to gigs and clubs, and we would sort of try and outdress each other. We'd get together
Uh-huh.
and we'd kind of divide up all our kind of jumbo sale thrift shop
So
vintage
you
ties.
just do your thing. You don't really have like something that your manager or somebody would tell you, you
No,
wear this, you wear that, you look
no,
good on stage with this.
no,
Oh,
no.
really?
Yeah, we
But
made our own
You
clothes.
tell Rose, like you ask Rose if you think that I need to put some like this or like that or
No,
nothing. It's just
no,
you.
just we just
Really?
did it. Yeah, and we made all our own clothes. So we
Oh,
just made them from scratch.
wow.
Yeah. So there was nobody was buying us designer clothing. We were making our own clothes, and
Uh-huh.
you know
And you were so
everything. So
unique, you know. You were so unique.
that's probably
Really,
why.
really. You were so unique. And during that time, because most of the fashion in the 1980s was like gothic, like Sushi
It's,
and the Banshees and like yeah, like the
mm,
hair. And but
mm,
your fashion, your fashion statement is quite unique because you have braids, you have
yeah, ribbons and flowers.
yeah, and
Still
then the
getting away with it.
polka dot Audrey
Yeah,
Hepburn dress
yeah,
with the net the net stockings, and
yeah,
somebody
yeah,
said here Creeper's shoes.
yeah.
Yeah, so
Big
it's
big
quite
pointy
unique, you know.
heels. Yeah,
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 it's unique, and it was effective, especially
yeah.
those who especially for girls
Mm,
who really idolizes you.
mm. No, I'm glad that people felt like they could just go out and I mean, basically, our stuff was we'd go to secondhand shops. We didn't have money, so we had to, and there wasn't much that you could, you know, that there wasn't colourful clothes that you could buy. Like now, you go around, you can buy crazy
Yeah.
tights, and we used to just go buy old 60s from clothes from the 1960s, usually, which were very bright and lots of polka dots,
Mhm.
stripes, and things, and we kind of and we would cut them up and remake them, and then you
You
know,
know,
so that's where the big
there's a place here in the Philippines we call that we buy old clothes from a shop that
uh-huh.
sells old clothes. We call
Yeah,
it ukay ukay.
ukai.
Ukay means you dig.
Right.
Ukay. So there are a lot of clothes, old clothes from the past, especially
Mm,
from people who outsized it already, and they
mm-hmm,
sell it
mm-hmm.
for a very cheap price. But
Yeah.
still, you can still use it. So
Yeah.
a lot of my friends, especially those who are in a different fashion statement,
Mm-hmm.
they get different unique things
Oh,
and then they put them all together, just like
uh-huh.
what you're doing.
Yeah. But that's, I mean, that it made you inventive. It made you
Yeah.
think about, like, what are we going to do? I mean, like, the big high shoes were
Hmm.
old 1960s shoes, so everything we had was either old, or we would go to fabric shops, buy the
Hmm.
fabric, and that's what we started to do once we kind of decided that we really loved polka dots and that kind of
Hmm.
Spanish kind of layered
Yes.
skirt, like flamenco skirts. And
And
we
you
started to
and you were so successful in that because you were in the videos that I watched in some of the concerts that you did. uh you were different. Not like in the other bands. You're stunning in on stage because you look different
yeah.
with your fashion statement. Yeah,
Yeah.
it
It's
goes
it,
also with the culture that you're into. It's the
mm,
80s.
mm, yeah.
That's why a
I
lot
mean,
of people, a lot of kids nowadays, they really love the 80s because the fashion in the 80s are so weird.
yeah, yeah, I know. I've noticed
But
people now
the good
starting to
thing
do
with the
it.
80s fashion, it's coming back.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
coming back. There are a lot of shoes nowadays, from the old times that's
Mm,
coming back right now in
yeah, the
shops.
styles.
The
Yeah, I know, it's
style
amazing. Yeah, it's
and the
great.
music, Jill. The music of the 80s is being used in different
Hmm.
movies like Wonder Woman. Wonder Woman.
Oh
They
yeah.
used Wonder Woman 1984, the movie that's coming this a couple of weeks from now.
Mm.
They used the Blue Monday of New Order.
Oh yeah, I love that song. Yeah,
So
wonderful.
yeah, but during the time, Jill, you said you got signed up already, then
Mm.
started touring. How was
Mm.
it? How's the feeling? Going in different places, performing.
Quite exhausting and quite strange, but we did a tour of quite large venues in Britain. Um, and yeah, I found it less intimidating than the small places, because you're kind of like, where's the audience? Once you've got lights on you, you feel quite remote. It's a bit strange. It's nerve wracking, but it's not as nerve wracking as I thought it would be. And interesting because you get to go to different places and
Hmm.
see different places. But we didn't do a lot of touring because it was just the two of us.
Hmm.
So we had to figure a way of being able to perform. So we'd either have to get some musicians, which we did. Um, we tried, but it was never quite right, because it wasn't something that grew organically. It was like having to get people in. I think the most successful way we did it was we had two musicians and we had a tape. Nowadays it would be, you'd have the stuff
Yeah,
on sequenced, and but we had basically like a big reel to reel tape
yeah. It's
recorder.
a real tape, the big ones.
Yeah. And that would have we didn't have a drummer, so that would like have the drum machine on it, and a couple of things.
Oh.
Yeah. So that would, I don't know why we had it on a tape, but it would have the drum machine and maybe some synthesizer. And then we had
Hmm.
somebody playing synth, and eventually we'd have somebody playing bass and somebody playing guitar. But it we didn't play a lot live because we weren't together for an awful lot of time. I think the sort of pressure of trying to do that, trying to play live, and also with me being agoraphobic, it was really difficult for me to travel. So it was hard to kind of get us out onto the road to do bigger tours. So
Hmm.
there were
What year did your career soared? 80,
84, 85 was the
84.
85 really.
You were discovered. You were discovered what? 83? 80.
We
Yeah.
signed a deal at 83, yeah, 83. But we were sort of going from 81, 82. I think we were talking about 82, and then yeah. So
Wow.
yeah.
And then 80s was so, 80s was great. But
Mm,
when the 90s came,
mm,
Jill,
mm,
there are a lot of music that started coming.
mm.
There was techno, there was
That's right.
trance, there was
Yeah,
house music, and
yeah.
then eventually grunge.
Hmm.
What happened to Strawberry Switchblade? What
I
Yeah.
think the thing that happened was just the kind of, I don't think, because it all happened very quickly for us, I don't think we were prepared for the pressure that being on a major label would put us under. We hadn't even didn't have time to process it, and the sort of pressure of of having to produce content for them, and do the things that they wanted us to do, I think was very difficult for us. We didn't really want to compromise. I know it sounds really pretentious, but we didn't want to kind of be pushed into a kind of, they were constantly trying to kind of make us more acceptable, like tone down the makeup, stop wearing, that kind of,
Uh-huh.
just, there was just this constant pressure to try and change us, which didn't feel right.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, well, you signed us as we are, and I think that's what made us
Yeah.
unique.
Because
And
you maybe because they want to you to adopt on the times, of course, the like,
I think they just wanted us to be more uh,
or rebranding
more
maybe.
I think they wanted us to be more acceptable, and that they were looking
Mm-hmm.
at America, they were looking at the US.
Ah,
I think they
yeah.
wanted
Mm-hmm.
us to be softer and
Mm-hmm.
more mainstream,
Uh-huh.
and we didn't really want that. It wasn't what we were kind of,
Of
we
course,
felt
of course.
we felt like they were kind of, it was affecting our relationship with each other,
Mm-hmm.
and it was affecting how we felt about ourselves, to be under that kind of constant pressure to conform.
Mm-hmm.
And it just didn't feel right. It just didn't feel like we were, it was
Yeah.
going anywhere. So we split up, and we split up in 1986. So we were together for a very short time. We only did the one
Mm-hmm.
album. And it is a shame, but it just, when something's not working, it's not working.
Yeah.
And I wasn't about, and neither of us were about, well, we've got to be famous, or else it's, our lives are meaningless.
Mm-hmm.
It felt to me like, no, this is not, it's not working.
Yeah, but so after that, what happened to you and what happened to Rose?
Well,
So we
Rose she kept making music,
Mm-hmm.
but in a kind of more of a niche kind of more gothic kind of music, sort of underground stuff. And I did some demos, but I think I'd had enough of the pressures of the music business, and also with my own issues with agoraphobia and sort of
Mm-hmm.
anxiety and stuff. It didn't seem like it was something that I could carry on with. So I went back to painting and
Mm-hmm.
making art, and that's what I concentrated on. And
Mm-hmm.
now and again, I've come back to make some music. At the moment, I'm making films with music,
Mm-hmm.
so like art films, performance pieces.
Mm-hmm.
But yes, I just didn't feel like it was something that I could sustain.
Uh-huh.
Uh,
You still
you know.
connect with Rose?
Well, yeah, I've been connecting with her because we've got this Domino Records in London are re-releasing
Mm-hmm.
our album, and they're also releasing some of the sessions we did, radio sessions that we did. So there's two
Mm-hmm.
albums coming out, one of kind of unreleased demos and radio sessions, and a re-release of the album. So that
Mm-hmm.
should be coming next year.
Yeah.
So that'll be, and so we've been in touch about that. We've done a couple of interviews.
When did you start doing sessions with Rose? Like,
Oh gosh, that must we knew each other probably from 70, 79, 70, 78, 79. She
mhm,
was on the scene. I didn't really know her, and I got to know her through mutual friends, and we
mhm,
started kind of really sitting down and talking about doing something probably about 79, 80.
yeah.
Uh,
But after splitting,
oh, right.
Jill, when
Uh,
did you, you know, what made you get in touch together again? Like,
well, it was a mutual friend in Glasgow who is
mhm,
overseeing. He got us together to ask, probably about 10 years ago, to start talking about, like, you should re-release the album. We should release some of these tracks that were never included on the album, that were done with different producers.
mhm.
Uh, um, so yeah, through that we got in touch again. So yeah.
Wow. Do you
And
have
so
any
hopefully,
plans of like having a reunion concert?
I have no idea. I don't know. I think we'll wait until the album comes out, and we'll
Mhm.
see what happens.
Because there are a lot of concert producers here in the Philippines that would love the idea of. I know a friend, Sir Jesse, would
Mm,
love to have you guys here.
yeah,
Maybe a
you never
reunion
know.
concert. Maybe a
You never
reunion
know.
concert. Guys, there are a lot of watching here, Jill.
You
A
never
lot of
know.
friends, regular viewers. Do you like the idea of Strawberry Switchblade to have a reunion concert in the Philippines next year, guys? Give me a comment now. Yeah, of course, they would
Yeah.
they would really want to,
Mm.
And should you have to, should you have the album released by next year, please feel free to promote it here.
Oh, I'd love
We
to.
can, yeah. Oh, see, Roel Marasigan said, yes, we love to have Strawberry Switchblade. Oh,
You
Jojo
could get
here
Rose as
said,
well.
Jojo McQueen, Mabalot said, love it. The reunion concert of Strawberry Switchblade. And
Brilliant.
Mike DeCousin is a guitarist. Every
Oh
time
yeah.
the bands from the 80s comes here, Mike is the guitarist. He has his own band, Veronica and I.
Ah,
He's a good
brilliant.
guitarist. And
Ah.
Alvin John said, go reunion concert. See, Jill, I told you. See?
See,
See?
at least two people.
No. There are a lot
I
of
know, I know.
I shared this to 10 10 new wave groups
Mm-hmm.
with thousands of followers. Did you know that uh, Tears for Fears came here,
Mm-hmm.
Jill?
Mm.
Tears for Fears came here. I didn't have the chance to watch the first concert because
Mm.
I ran out of tickets.
Right. Wow.
And my gosh, if you just if you saw the whole Coliseum,
Mm.
man,
Wow.
gosh, it's really filled with people. You know the reason why? Because we love the 80s. The one who
Brilliant.
pays tickets now were
Mm.
the teenagers before.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's the thing. That's the thing.
Yeah.
So, and the record, the producers, the concert producers were the teenagers before. That's why.
There now that, yeah. Ah.
So, we are looking into the possibility that you will be coming here in the Philippines and perform for us.
I'd love to do that. Yeah.
Yes.
That'd be
So,
wonderful.
let's give way to some of our friends who are watching right now. Skylar Achi is watching from the US. Hi, Strawberry Jill.
Ah.
Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, Deep John Samson is saying, hi, Monty, and hi, Jill. Long
Oh,
live New Wave. Love the songs of Strawberry
oh,
Switchblade.
that's so
He's a good
nice.
friend
Thank
of
you.
mine. He was the
Yeah.
one who did this background.
Ah,
Yeah,
I like that.
Deep
It's
John
good.
Samson.
Mm.
And
Very good.
Marlon Rivera said astig. Astig means in Tagalog solid.
Ah,
Yeah,
brilliant.
that's how you say like tough. Astig. Jojo
Astig.
Mabalot is saying hello, Miss Jill and Sir Monty, watching from
Oh,
Nottingham, England.
not far
See?
away.
Yeah. Always a fan. What's the origin of the new of the
You
name?
have to.
Yeah, we he was late.
Yeah.
Yeah. Somebody
You
asked
have to watch the
already.
show.
Yeah, somebody asked not only Jojo but the other guy asked the history about the name. It's a fanzine. It's a small
Mm.
magazine that Jill saw, and then they got the name Strawberry Switchblade from that. That
Mm.
never went out,
No, never
but they
got
made it
used.
famous. But they made it famous. They
Yeah,
owe
we
you a lot.
used
They
it.
owe you a lot,
Yeah.
Jill. And Ernesto Galvan Jr. is saying, "Good evening, waivers."
Mm. Morrissey.
Uh, oh, a good
Brilliant.
friend is watching. Hi, Kat Villadolid Ibrahim. I saw her wearing creepers, the high
Yeah,
shoes like
the
this.
big
Yeah,
high
yeah,
heels,
yeah,
very
yeah.
thin heels. Yeah,
Yes, of course.
very pointy toes.
Yeah. And then A Ruiz, hello Monty, hello Mom Jill. Who knows what love is? Thank you for the
Oh,
music.
oh, thank you.
See, they love you. They love
Oh,
your
that's so
music, Jill.
nice. That's
Mark
really
Canlas,
nice.
let her go. My favorite of them.
Oh, that's brilliant.
Ah,
Oh,
see?
thank
Jay
you.
Bautista saying, "Who knows what love is the ultimate new wave love song."
Oh, that's so nice.
See?
Wow. Wow. It's so nice.
Who else? Joey Mag saying hello. Yeah, a lot
Oh,
of
it's so nice.
Roel. Yeah, Roel Marasigan. When I asked, you want a reunion concert? He said
Yeah.
a big yes.
Oh,
Yeah. Alvin John Santiago also said, "Go reunion concert."
oh,
See,
wow. Yeah.
and who? Alan Braun Ramirez, Jill, still
Oh,
beautiful.
you need glasses.
And Roel Marasigan said, "I'll fly from Detroit to Manila when you have the concert there. Looking forward to the
Oh,
new album
oh my
too."
goodness. Wow.
See?
Yeah.
And the one more. Um, Edwin Sibukao said, "Long live
Long live
new
new
wave."
wave. Yeah.
Yep. The good thing with Jill, the Filipinos, we love the new wave culture because your music is not the type of music that is so hard and it's so not noisy.
Mm,
It's a chill music,
mm, mm-hmm.
you just dance. It's not really hard, and
No.
you just have like a bottle of beer in your hand, and you just chill with
Mm,
some friends, and you can just play it over and over and over again. It doesn't,
mm.
it's not like the other music like techno. Just play and play and play in your ear like you're being hypnotized.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
you know what I
No,
mean. Like
I know what you mean.
it's just like playing over and
Yeah,
over as if
yeah.
somebody's hypnotizing you.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not anything against techno, but
No, no,
that
no.
it's the
Mm,
music.
mm.
It's how Ronnie Parawan, a good friend of mine from back in the '80s, said, "Hi
Mm.
Monty, wow, Jill is ageless." See,
Oh, thank you.
that's my
Very
friend
sweet.
Ronnie. He has a twin
Oh,
brother.
Ronnie.
Yeah. So is there any like projects that was affected by the pandemic from you? Like, do you have any scheduled gigs or appearances or sessions that was affected by
Not
the pandemic?
not really. I mean, anything that I've had a few interviews on the radio, and I've been doing some art shows which were affected by the pandemic. But we had one in Scotland, and it's quite a rural part of Scotland, so they decided that they could go on with that because it's in quite a quiet area. But there were quite a few sort of art exhibitions that I couldn't do. but there was no scheduled concerts or anything. So it's not been too bad. And I've been mostly in Scotland working. So I've got a studio up here and I work, do lots of painting.
Wow.
Yeah.
So, any plans besides the album? Besides the
No,
reunion concert?
no, we just we want to get the album out. So I think it's everything's been sorted, all the licensing.
Hmm.
We've got the sessions from the BBC, so everything's ready to go. We've got a whole load of photographs from the time, which is really good fun. Um, to make a little booklet to go out with it. So the first one that will come out will be, I think it's a double album's worth of
Hmm.
sessions and
Wow.
unreleased demos, but that we did with various producers.
Oh,
So
wow.
that'll be
Just
the
let
first
us
one.
know, Jill. Just let us know, because a lot of people who just commented here, and a
Mm.
lot of our viewers are collectors
Okay.
of music from the 80s. Like, not
Ah,
only collectors of music, but vinyls from the past.
well, I think this the first album's going to be released as a double album on vinyl with a
Ah.
booklet, so it's going to be like
Oh,
proper
guys, you have to
packaged.
watch that. You have to watch
But
out for that.
I will let you know
I'll,
because
I'll, I'll
we've been working on it and getting like as many photographs that haven't been seen as possible, because obviously there's a whole
mhm.
archive of photographs. So we found one for the cover that nobody has seen, which I
I'm
really
gonna
like.
give
So
you
yeah.
I'm gonna give you the name of my friend who's gonna um his job is like one of the producers of the not only the concerts here, but he's the guy he's the distributor of
Mm.
the
Ah, the
albums that's
vinyl,
being
right.
re-released.
Ah,
So you might want to talk to him so that he's the one who's gonna put your the album here in the
all
Philippines.
right,
Should
okay, brilliant.
it's yeah, it's gonna
I
be
mean,
released soon.
it should. I mean, we're talking at the moment, so yeah, it does look like everything's coming together, ready for it to be released. We're getting people to write little pieces, so there'll be a booklet inside. I'm quite excited about it. Really,
Yeah,
it'll be nice
we
to
are
do.
too.
Yeah,
We would really want to. And then maybe you wanna promote it live here in a reunion concert
wonderful. Yeah, be
with
really nice.
Rose.
Yeah,
Oh,
absolutely,
see, guys,
Rose. Yeah,
you heard it from
yeah,
here. You heard it
definitely. I'll tell
from Jill
Rose.
herself.
I'll tell Rose about
Yeah,
it.
please,
We
please,
can do
please.
it.
And one more question. What's the most memorable thing about the 80s for you, Jill?
Most memorable thing about the 80s. I think it was.
Besides being
Um,
pretty. Besides being
ah,
pretty.
I think it was. I mean, the most memorable for Strawberry Switchblade was being on a show called Top of the Pops in
Mhm.
in Britain in the
Yeah.
UK. I don't know if you've heard of it, but
Yeah,
it
yeah,
was
of
like
course, of course.
back in
We know it. We know it. Top of
yeah,
the pops.
yeah, back in the day before the internet.
It's just
It
like the
was
American bandstand. It's just like the American top 40 or American bandstand of
yeah.
US. Yeah.
But I think a lot of people, especially young people, they don't understand. They can't kind of understand that that was the only program. If you were going to see one of your favorite bands, I mean, I've got
Yeah.
lots of memories of seeing bands like Bowie and Mark Bolan, but also seeing new bands like the Smiths doing like
Mhm.
iconic performances on Top of the Pops. I mean, just
Yep.
amazing. So for us, being on Top of the Pops was absolutely mind blowing. It was an incredible thing, and it kind of just you know, for Rose
Yeah,
and
top
I
of the
think we
pops
were,
is, it's
yeah,
every band's dream to play there,
yeah,
because
it,
once you play there, you're something else.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's very hard to kind of get it across because there's not really anything that's equivalent now. But yeah, at the time that was amazing, and I just yeah, that's what I
Yeah.
loved.
But there are a lot of musicians and performers out here who are watching. Um, since you were there, you experienced the feeling of being famous and
Mm.
being successful with Strawberry Switchblade. Do you have any message for them, like for those who are the upcoming bands, especially the kids nowadays, who would like to reach the what you have reached
Mm.
as a performer?
Just do it. Don't listen to anybody who tells you you can't do it, or kind of, if it says you're not good enough. Just keep going. Just do it, because your enthusiasm and your love for it will make sure that you produce something that's worthwhile. Whether, I mean, there's a lot of luck involved in kind of becoming kind of well known, but you'll never go wrong if you just have enthusiasm and just be determined. Do it.
Yeah.
Just do it. That's what I say. Do it whatever way you
Mike is
can.
just do it. Don't listen to anybody.
Yeah, don't listen to the negative people. People will always say, you can't do that. What are you
Yeah.
doing that for? Just do what you want to do. Don't compromise. That's what I'd say.
Mm-hmm. So you want to be successful, guys? Don't listen to anyone. Just do it. Just do the right thing, and you
Listen to
feel that
yourself.
yeah,
Listen to yourself.
yeah. No one dictates. Just do it.
Yeah, because then
So
then you'll be doing something that's true to you and that's individual and that's different from other people. You'll have
mhm.
something unique.
There's a additional question here from Mike. Hi Jill, did you and Rose also perform at Eric's?
Do you know what? We didn't perform at Eric's. We performed at, oh no, there was the club that, there was a really famous club in Liverpool that we played. Oh, Manchester, that we played in. We didn't play in
Mm-hmm.
Eric's, no.
Okay.
No.
And one more. Somebody just popped in. Ellen. Hi, Ellen.
Mhm.
She's watching. And Skylar said, Jill is so sweet. Thank you for Who Knows What Love Is and doing this
Oh,
interview. Love you, Jill.
thank you.
So thank you so much, Jill. I know
You're welcome.
and thank you for giving us your time, and I'm so honored. I was just listening to your music before when I was a teenager. Now I'm talking to you. And I'm hoping to see you here in the Philippines should the pandemic be over, and of course
I would love
Rose.
that. Love that.
Yeah, please, and I will try to arrange. I'll have I'll arrange a conversation with you and Jesse,
And
because he's
Rose,
the
yeah.
one
Oh, yes, the
organizing the
guitarist.
concerts. No, no,
All right.
the concert organizer here.
Ah, yes.
So
Okay.
so that you can talk, you can
Hmm.
exchange emails maybe,
Yeah.
so that yeah.
Cool. And I can
So
put them. I'll keep you
yes,
posted about the album release, and
yes,
soon as
please. We
soon as
will
we've got any news, I'll let you know.
if you want to us to promote it here in the page, please do so, because
Yeah.
this is all about you guys. You
Okay.
made this. I didn't made this. You made this because of the
Oh.
music, because of the culture.
Yeah.
And one more thing, Chris Magadia said, "Thanks for the music, Jill."
Oh, you're welcome.
So thank you, Jill, in behalf of all this new wave fans out here, and all the people who loves the 80s, and from the Filipino people. In behalf of them, I would like to take this opportunity to thank you
Oh,
and
that's
Strawberry
very kind.
Switchblade for the music that you gave
Very
us,
kind.
and up to now that we all love. So thank you so much.
Been
Thank
lovely to
you,
talk to
and
you.
we wish you all the best.
Thank
Again, we
you.
want to see you here. Maybe
I'd love to come.
together with
Rose,
Ian
yeah.
Donaldson and Jeff Bernstein,
Oh, the H2O, yeah.
The Scotland bands. Yeah.
Fantastic. Yeah.
So
Why not?
thank you, Jill, and guys, let's give it up for Jill Bryson of Strawberry Switchblade. Stay safe and all the best.
It's been a pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Have a great
Goodbye.
weekend. Bye bye.
Thank you.
Wow. Woo. So I'm so blessed and honored, so happy to have interviewed Jill Bryson. Actually, she's the first female to be to be a guest here in It's All About New Wave. So wow, love their music. I love their music. Um, and hopefully we will see them here in the Philippines. Sir Jesse, if you're listening and if you're watching, we want Strawberry Switchblade. Di ba? Tama yun, no? Tama yung sinabi ni Alvin John. Alvin John Santiago. Jill Bryson, or with Rose, Strawberry Switchblade. Ian Donaldson of H2O, and Jerf Bernstein of White China, di ba? All together in one concert, di ba? Wow, that's gonna be exciting. So yeah, thanks guys for watching, and thanks for those who just tuned in. Um, I'm sobra akong masaya because of actually Jill is one of the easiest person na to communicate. Messenger lang ako nagme-message, and she's madalas ko siyang ka message. Ang bilis niya sumagot. So I didn't have any problems communicating with Jill. So this is my favorite part of the show, announcing my next guest for next week. Actually, guys, next week will be my last show for the year. Why? We'll have a let's give naman ourselves a Christmas break because after the 18th, December 18th, the next Friday will be Christmas Day. So let's take a break. Let's take a Christmas break. And then we'll resume in January, the first Friday of January na. So that I can also work on the lineup of the guests for the whole month of January. So again, our last show for the year 2020 will be next week, December 18. And my next guest will be who? Make a wild guess, guys. Make a wild guess. My next guest, he just confirmed while I was having the interview with Jill. He just confirmed. O yan na, he. So sino ang next guest ko? Okay? Any any guess? Ba? Daya ni Mike, may clue agad. Make a wild guess. Ang dami namang banda dyan eh. Jay Aston. Hindi pa nag-confirm ulit eh. Kat. Hindi pa nag-confirm ulit si Jay. Baka January na si Jay. Actually, nag-okay na si Jay. Pero hindi ko pa na-follow up ulit. I might follow up siguro January na. Robert Smith, Edwin, I'm so sorry. Big time yun eh. Alam mo naman tayo eh. Pero I message Robert from The Cure. Pero wala pang reply. Morten Harket, mabigat din yun. Pero I message Morten Harket. Jay Bautista, Roddy Frame of Aztec Camera, I message pero wala pang reply. Anyway, guys, here's my next guest next week. Asan na? Ay, sorry, nagbabuffer yung ano ko. Sorry, guys.
Like machinery, devoid of love. Switch on, switch on.
All right. My next guest next week will be Steve Hovington of B Movie. Yep, B Movie. Si Steve Hovington. He just confirmed while I was having an interview with Jill Bryson. Actually, nag-message niya sa akin sa kagabi. Aayusin lang daw niya yung schedule niya. So, he just messaged me a while ago. And he confirmed that he'll be okay with Friday next week. So, next week's guest will be the guy who sang this, Switch On, Switch Off, and Nowhere Girl from B Movie, Steve Hovington. So, again, we'll be having our last show for December on next week, December 18. After we'll be resuming the show January na para to give, of course, to give myself also to work on the guests for the whole month of January. So, tsaka mahirap eh. Sino manonood sa atin ng December 25? 'Di ba? Tapos yung iba, may mga ano pa, may mga activities pa sila with their families. So, let's give ourselves a Christmas break. And, yep. So, again, thank you guys. I want to give a special shout out to all the new wave bands, all the new wave groups out there whom I'm sharing this link. Of course, my ever friends na New Wave Solid, sila Sir Eddie, sila Sir Alex Laredo, sila Rock Ulpato, sila Sir Derek, sila Joseph Muli, sila and everybody there in everybody in New Wave Solid, New Wave Forever, of course. Tapos Manila New Wavers, Planet New Wave, No Mix, Bar, sila DJ Mike Timbol. Totally 80 sila Miss Eileen. And meron bago, New Wave Republic. The Mutual, ano nga ba yun? The Mutual, ano nga ba yung mutual nila, aha. Sorry hanapin ko. Wait lang. Shout out natin para lahat nabati natin. The Mutual Admiration page. So the Mutual Admiration Society, yan. Yon, the Mutual Admiration Society. Tapos Music Anything Goes. WXB 102, the station that dares to be different. Sila Sir George Frederick at saka sila Sir Rico Gutierrez. Who else? New Wave Republic, Manila New Wavers, and so on and so forth. So, thank you guys for supporting this show, and a shout out kay Def Electro. Kapapasok lang niya. Yon. So, again, thank you so much, guys, for watching this episode, and I hope you liked the episode with Jill Bryson. And again, next week, we'll be having Steve Hovington of B Movie. So again, guys, stay safe. It's Christmas season. Alam naman natin, lahat ng tao nagpupunta kung saan-saan, and shopping here, shopping there. Ingat na lang po, and we still have the virus. So, just click or comment anything that you want us to, like if you have a suggestion that you want to be included here in the show, please do give us a comment, and then I'll be the one to answer it. And for requests, Yan, mga request. Gawa tayo ng mga request, mga videos na pwede nating i-post dito sa page. So again, thank you so much. Have a great week ahead. Meron pa pong the night is still young. It's only 9:10. There are other groups who are playing now live mixing. So please do. I think DJ John Tupaz is playing right now. And sila No Mix, sila DJ Mike Timbol is playing live right now. And other DJs, let's support them. Especially yung mga bars na nagbukas na. Let us support them. Pero ingat-ingat lang po ha. Again, this is your weekly online New Wave podcast. This is It's All About New Wave. Good evening and have a peaceful night. Good night, guys. Bye-bye.